It is essential that Sydney bus operators are ready to manage a safe evacuation. An evacuation may be needed anytime and anywhere, and the number one priority is passenger and staff safety. You need to stay calm, take control, and follow the safe evacuation procedures. This video will take you through 4 evacuation scenarios and show you what to do if you need to evacuate your bus. The triggers for an evacuation include a breakdown, an accident, a passenger medical incident, a threat to your passengers, or a fire. You could be alerted to the emergency by a dash alarm, or what you or a passenger see, hear or smell, or by a passing motorist. The majority of evacuations are not emergencies, like in this scenario. It's a clear, dry day and you're driving along a suburban street. The street is curved and there's wide footpaths on either side. You hear a panel alarm and see a dash light indicating low engine oil pressure. You need to turn the engine off to avoid damage. This will require a changeover bus. It will also require a routine non-emergency shutdown and evacuation. Look for the safest place to stop and consider where the changeover bus will stop, either ahead or behind you. Stop and secure your bus. Apply the handbrake. Select neutral. Turn off the engine and remove the keys. Turn on the hazard lights. Contact NCC on the bus radio. Advise your run number, route, exact location, staff number and the issue with the bus. Put on your high-vis vest. Then communicate clearly with your passengers. Folks, there's a problem with the bus. I've called for a replacement bus. I'll need to transfer you to other services. Assist and guide passengers onto other services. Watching for traffic, including the adjoining traffic lane, check around your bus for any obvious problems. When the changeover bus arrives, give clear instructions to any remaining passengers. Please move along the footpath and onto the other bus. Apologies for the inconvenience. Offer assistance to any special needs or elderly passengers. When passengers have transferred, return to your bus and await further instructions from NCC. In this next scenario, it's peak hour and you're driving in lane 2 of a 3-lane road. On the left curb, there is a footpath. The engine of your bus stalls and you suddenly lose power. It won't start again. You have no time to position your bus and you are stranded in lane 2. In heavy peak hour traffic, you may have no lane claiming opportunity to block traffic. Stop and secure your bus in lane 2. Activate your hazard lights and put on your high-vis vest. In this situation, there is no immediate need to evacuate your passengers. They are safer on board the bus until you establish a safe, controlled evacuation pathway. Attention everyone, I can't start the engine. Please stay on the bus. Use your bus radio to communicate the incident information with NCC. They will arrange a changeover bus, towing and other support services to the site as quickly as possible. Communicate with your passengers to advise them what is happening and that help is on the way. Keeping well inside your bus, assess the traffic in lane 1 and signal other road users. If safe to do so, you may be able to stop traffic with the assistance of another bus or road user. Once the traffic is blocked, assist and guide your passengers to safely move to the curbside pathway for transfer to other services. Remember, if you cannot stop the traffic safely, keep your passengers on the bus. Thank you for your patience. Sorry about this, everyone. Other drivers will see us and pull over. If a direct transfer to another bus is required, give clear instructions to your passengers as to their evacuation pathway. Assist your passengers onto the changeover buses, then return to your bus and wait for further instructions from NCC. Let's look at another scenario. While driving through a tunnel in slow-moving traffic, a passenger alerts you to an electrical fire. "Driver, there's smoke and a burning smell coming from the air conditioning behind you. It's getting worse." This is a full emergency shutdown and evacuation. In a tunnel, try and stop near an emergency exit. Assess the traffic flow and position your bus to create a safety zone, allowing adequate room for all passengers to exit. Stop and secure your bus. Parking brake on, select neutral, engine off, keys out of ignition, and isolate the battery to prevent electrical energy feeding the fire. If your bus is fitted with an emergency power isolation switch, isolate the power. Activate the emergency radio and your hazard lights. Put on your high-vis vest and manage the evacuation. Evacuate the bus. Use both doors. I've blocked the traffic. Move to the emergency exit that's ahead of us. Remember, NCC is listening to what's happening in the bus. Keep repeating the key emergency information in a clear voice. Get able-bodied passengers to assist with special needs and elderly passengers if required. When all your passengers are off the bus, get your fire extinguisher, assess the fire, and if it is safe to do so, attempt to extinguish the fire. In this fourth scenario, you're driving across the harbour bridge. In your mirrors you see smoke coming out of your engine bay. This is a full emergency shutdown and evacuation. Immediately assess your surroundings and identify a safe location and a safe evacuation pathway for your passengers to be moved to. Check for traffic in lane 1, then move the bus to straddle both lanes 1 and 2, then angle the bus slightly to stop the traffic in the lanes. Angle the bus to leave room for passengers to exit. Don't stop hard up against a fence. If you have a passenger in a wheelchair or a pram on board, allow even more space. You observe that the smoke is getting thicker. Stay calm. The risk of passengers being injured by traffic may be greater than being injured by a fire, so don't hesitate to block traffic to create a safety zone and an exclusion zone with a safe evacuation pathway to an assembly point. Always stay calm and take a few extra seconds to assess where to stop. Secure your bus. Apply the handbrake and select neutral. Turn the ignition off and remove the keys. Press the battery isolation switch to off. If your bus is fitted with an emergency power isolation switch, isolate the power. Activate the emergency radio. Remember, NCC is listening to what's happening in the bus. Keep repeating the key emergency information in a clear voice. If you are operating a Mercedes gas bus, activate the emergency shutoff valve behind your seat. Activate your hazard lights. Put on your high-vis vest. This protects your safety by keeping you visible in smoke or at night, and identifies you as the person in control of the evacuation until emergency services arrive. Communicate with your passengers. Take control and give clear instructions as to how to exit the bus and where to assemble. Evacuate the bus now. Use both doors and move ahead of the bus. Evacuate now. Open the bus doors and start the evacuation. If you have special needs, elderly or very young passengers, assign other passengers to assist if required. "Sir, the fire is getting worse. Do I have your permission for these two gentlemen to help you?" When you are satisfied that all passengers have left the bus and have moved or are moving to a safe location, if safe to do so, you can attempt to put the fire out. Remove the fire extinguisher from its mount and move to the rear of the bus. If you are operating a Scania gas bus, move safely to the two isolating valves and shut them off. A separate video will show you how to assess a fire and how to use a fire extinguisher. Being prepared for an emergency evacuation starts the minute you leave the depot. As you drive your route, observe the surroundings and think, where would I stop if I had to evacuate now? And where would I move the passengers? If you had a fire, avoid stopping near petrol stations, trees or overhead bridges. If you are near shops or apartments, attempt to stop at a nearby intersection. Don't forget you could come across an evacuation in progress and you could assist in a safe evacuation. You could create a safe pathway for passengers or take on board evacuating passengers. You could provide lane blocking. You could make a backup call to NCC to update the situation. And if safe to do so, you could assist in extinguishing a fire. Remember, you may need to evacuate your bus anytime and anywhere. Will you be ready?